This week on 4 Wide Weekly, we go for the jackpot with the World of Outlaws late models, take to the fast track with the modifieds, and hit the spin cycle with the World of Outlaws sprint cars. Friday night, the Winged Warriors took on the dirt track at Charlotte for the annual Outlaw Showdown in Concord, North Carolina, just next to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And the action got heated up early on in this one as Sammy Swindell and Cody Dara come together, sending Dara up and over out of corner number 4. Taking a look at the replay, Swindell pushes up, makes contact with the 4 machine as he takes a wild ride on the outside of corner number 4. Dara would eventually make his way on over to the Swindell number 1 machine to voice his displeasure on what happened in this one. Cody not very happy at all with Slammin' Sammy, driver of the Big Game Tree Stands number 1. When the feature event got underway, it was Craig Kinzer leading the field to the green flag as Sammy Swindell and Joey Saldana will pull out to the early lead in this one, until a lap 6 spin by the 25 machine of Chris Myers would bring out the caution flag. As you can see it up top here from the blip cam. On the restart, Swindell would waste no time slipping to the inside of Swindell for the race lead as they battle side by side down into corner number 3. Current World of Outlaws points leader Steve Kinzer would also slip past Swindell as he hopped the cushion coming out of corner number 4. As you get a good look at Donnie Schatz and Tony Stewart battling for position out of corner number 4 as well, across the stripe and into corner number 1. A good run for Swindell would eventually come to an end as the motor expired on the Big Game Tree Stands number 1 machine. That would allow the Bass Pro Shops number 11 a shot at Joey Saldana. He would take the race lead out of corner number 4, but it would not last long as the 11 car would blow a left rear tire, dropping Kinzer out of contention for the lead. Kinzer would make the change, however, and on the restart, he was the man on the move, slicing his way back through the field until once again he would jump the cushion in corner number 1. He would then tangle with the D4 of Danny Holtgraver as both cars would spin, Kinzer doing a complete 360 on the top side of the speedway. Nobody, though, would be able to touch the number 9 Great Clips machine of Joey Saldana as he would race on to the victory.
We've been struggling this last month, so to just work with our car all night and to get a win, that's awesome. I mean, this is definitely a hard-fought team effort right here. We've been working with our car so much and just seem to get the same effect, either too loose, too tight, and there in the feature we hit it. So definitely the right time to hit it, and definitely putting the harder tires on the right and the left rear were the answer, because Steve definitely with the softer tires probably was the class of the field. But the left rear didn't hold in there, so ours look really good.
The series next moved to Lawrenceburg Speedway in Indiana for a Memorial Day event on Monday. And the early going in this one features some side-by-side racing for the runner-up spot, with Chad Kemenaugh wheeling his way past Craig Delansky as he would then set his sights on the race leader, Danny Lasowski. Unfortunately for Delansky, something would let loose on the 33 machine, handing the lead over to the 63 of Chad Kemenaugh. And on the restart, it would be the 11K of Craig Kinzer, working to the inside of Delansky out of corner number 4 to take the runner-up spot. Delansky would then take advantage of lap traffic to work his way past Kinzer for position number 2. But as the crowd pleaser entered corner number 1, he blew a right rear tire, sending him into the outside wall. When the race got back to green, Kyle Larson threw a pick down there into corner number 1, which let Swindell get on past both to move into position number 4. Eventually, Kinzer in the 11K would chase down Chad Kemenaugh, battling wheel to wheel for the top spot out of corner number 2. But Kemenaugh, who recently picked up a win at the Eldora Speedway, proved to be just too much as he worked on to his latest World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series victory over Craig Kinzer, Kyle Larson, Steve Kinzer, and David Gravel.
Yeah, that was a heck of a race. You know, Craig's a really good race car driver, And like I said, you know, he probably had the chance there to maybe even shut the door on me a couple of times, but he left me enough to get up beside him again there, and I realized that he was better on the bottom down here. I wasn't very good on the longer the race went, and once we got up top, it was a lot better.
Taking a look at the current point standing, Steve Kinzer holds on to position number 1. Donnie Schatz now moves into the number 2 spot, 26 points back. Sammy Swindell falls to position number 3 with Joey Saldana and Craig Delansky rounding out the top 5. Craig Kinzer, Chad Kemenaugh, Cody Dara, Kerry Madsen, and Lucas Wolf round out your top 10. The series roars back into action Friday night at the high-banked Attica Raceway Park. Donnie Schatz won last year's event at the 3rd Mile Oval. Saturday night, the series moves over to I-76 Speedway for the Napa Rumble. Joey Saldana holds the track record on the 3/8 Mile Oval. Tuesday, the series moves to the Kokomo Speedway for the 3rd round of the Casey Kane Challenge. Steve Kinzer won the first event at the track in 1978. Coming up after the break, we switch gears and go racing with the World of Outlaws Late Model Series.
Outlaw Dirt Racing Summer Blockbuster event is at Lernerville Speedway, June 28th, 29th, and 30th. It's the Firecracker 100 Weekend presented by GottaRace.com. 3 days of fireworks fun in the World of Outlaws Late Models. 3 explosive nights of racing building up to Saturday's $30,000 to win finale. Experience 1 night, 2 nights, or 3 full feature event nights. Get your tickets now, including money-saving packages and free fan pit passes at Lernerville.com. The Firecracker 100 Weekend. 3 giant nights of the World of Outlaws Late Models.
Welcome back to 4 Wide Weekly. The World of Outlaws Late Models took to the Wayne County Speedway for the Buckeye Classic Friday night, and it would be Darrell Lanigan getting his 3rd win of the season over Tim McCready, Chub Frank, Vic Coffey, and Walker Arthur. From there, the series then moved on over to Tyler County Speedway for the Jackpot 100, and Chad McClellan would lead the field down to the green flag. Steve Shaver would end up getting the lead in this one off the start, and Shaver would hit lap traffic, opening the door for Darrell Lanigan to slide past on the inside, driving car number 29. Shaver would try to battle back on the high side on Lanigan into corner number 3, but was unable to do so as Lanigan was looking very fast off the bottom side of the speedway. Later on, Shane Clanton would get sideways in corner number 2, collecting Chad McClellan and Bub McCool out of that second corner. Later on, 3 wide for the runner-up spot with Donnie Moran on the high side and Steve Casebolt in the middle, Brandon Shepard on the bottom side in the 1 machine. And Moran would make the high side work and get into the number 2 spot, driving 99. But out in front, it was all Darrell Lanigan. As he would go on to get the win at the line, Brandon Shepard would get second with Steve Casebolt in 3rd. Donnie Moran and Tim McCready would round out the top 5.
Oh, what a car, man. I can't say enough for my guys. Rocket chassis, Cornet racing engines, unbelievable. It was pretty, I mean, the car drove unbelievable. It did make it easy. It was more mental than it was physical out there, but unbelievable car.
The series would wind up the weekend at Ripley Racefest at I-77 Raceway Park, and Walker Arthur had the pole in this one off the green flag. 4 wide in turn 1 on the start here as Chris Garnes takes to the high side to grab the race lead. Steve Shaver would eventually get the lead on a mid-race restart, but he would break going down the back straightaway out in front, driving car number 6. That would hand the lead right back over to Chris Garnes. And on the restart, the battle would be for the runner-up position with Vic Coffey on the high side, Arthur in the middle, and the Mac Daddy, Dale McDowell, on the bottom side. Coffey would eventually pull ahead into the number 2 position. But out in front, it was all the Chris Garnes show, as he would pull away onto his first career World of Outlaws Late Model Series win in convincing fashion over McDowell, Dome, Chub Frank, and Rick Eckert.
I don't believe words can express. I'm almost speechless. It's hard to give an interview whenever you can't even think about what to say. But it's something that every local kid thinks of whenever they're growing up. You know, racing on these back, you know, these no-name tracks that nobody knows of, and I just don't even know what to say.
Coming off of his 4th win of the season, Darrell Lanigan holds a commanding lead over Rick Eckert. In the World of Outlaws Late Model Series point standings, Chubb Frank, Shane Clinton, and Tim McCready hold down the top 5, with Vic Coffey, Clint Smith, Bub McCool, Pat Dorr, and Kent Robinson rounding out your top 10. Thursday night, the series is back in action at Delaware International Speedway. Cars are scheduled to hit the 3/8 mile speedway at 7 p.m.
They're 4 wide and coming right at you. It's the World of Outlaws sprint cars. See the King, Steve Kinzer, Red Hot, Tony Schatz, Casey Kane Racing's Joey Saldana, and all of sprint car racing superstars. They're bigger, better, and flat out faster. Don't miss your chance to see the greatest show on dirt.
The Napa Auto Parts Rumble, coming to I-76 Speedway Saturday, June 2nd. Be there live to see the Winged Warriors battle in an all-out shootout. Reserve your tickets now at slspromotions.com. Saturday, June 2nd, I-96 Speedway.
The Big Block Modifieds took to the fast track of Rolling Wheels Raceway Park, and it was Billy Decker in car number 91 leading the field to green, and he would waste no time putting himself out to a huge lead over the driver of the number 9S, Super Matt Shepard. Shepard trying to chase him down in the FX Caprera, car number 9. A late race caution would give Shepard the shot he needed as he would pull to the outside of Decker, going down into corner number 3 to take the race lead. Further back in the field, the man on the move, the driver of the 27J, the Dr. Danny Johnson. He started all the way back in position number 13 and was working into position number 3, moving around the high side of the jet, Brett Hearn, to get that number 3 spot. But out in front, a very familiar sight, Matt Shepard on his way to Rolling Wheels Raceway Park victory lane over Decker, Johnson, Jimmy Phelps, and Brett Hearn.
Billy had a pretty good lead on you, then that caution came out, put you right next door to it. Take us through that restart. What was the game plan?
I was just going to take a stab at the top. I really didn't think I could, pull him off the top of 2, but I must have hit it just right and got a good run. And I knew if I could beat him to the top of 3 that I'd have a good shot at getting by him. Then it was just a matter of trying to hold him off for 45 more laps.
With his first win of the Super DIRTcar Series season, Matt Shepard moves into the points lead over Danny Johnson. Billy Decker sits in third, 13 points back, with Brett Hearn and Jimmy Phelps rounding out the top 5 ahead of Justin Hares, Billy Dunn, Pete Britton, Steve Payne, and Rob Bellinger. Moving on to the 358 Modified Mr. DIRTcar Championship standings, Matt Williamson currently leads the way over Mr. Small Block Pete Bicknell, Dale Plank, Mario Clare, and a tie right now between Tommy Flanagan and Eric Rudolph for position number 5. They sit ahead of Claude Brouillard, Tim Jones, Danny O'Brien, and Chad Brockman in the top 10. Be sure to join us next week here on 4 Wide Weekly as we take a look back at all things World of Outlaws.